Hi, everybody. Welcome to Insight from the Torah portion and CBT. This week, Parsha is Parashat Masai, and we have beautiful, interesting ideas on the Parsha, and also practical tool how to deal with anxiety, and specifically with OCD. There's an anxiety that's connected to OCD. So be really interesting. Useful practical tools, and I will connect it to the Parsha as usual. The practical tools will be from the model of Jeffrey Schwartz, and the model in CBT approach. And I will tell more about it after I will talk about the Torah portion. So really beautiful class. Please share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel so we can make our community grow. Also, if you like those classes, I have a WhatsApp group that you can join. There's a link to it underneath the video. And then I send all the videos on the WhatsApp, so then you won't miss any of them. And you can be the first one to get them. So a lot of people joined already, and you're welcome to join too. So in the Parashat Masai, it's basically Masai in Hebrew means a journey. It talks about the 42 journeys that Am Israel did in the desert. And the stories in the Torah are equivalent to the story of our life, stuff we're going through our life. And our life is a journey that there's getting better and perceiving, and there's also stops and places you park. And that was the story of Am Israel. They went and they stopped. They went and they stopped, and they went through different places and different events. And the second pasuk of the Parsha, it says, ויכתוב משה, משה רבינו wrote, את מוצאיהם למסעיהם על פי השם. He wrote the place they came out from to the journey, like Hashem guided them what to write. And then it continued, the same pasuk, and says, ואלה מסעיהם למוצאיהם. It's like kind of repeating itself. And it says, this is the journey from the place they came out from. So it starts with Moshe writing the place they came out from to the journey, and then it continues and it says, those are the journeys from the place they came out from. So it sounds like, okay, why you need to say the same thing twice? So I heard Rav Manusi speaks in he went to some place that somebody was kind of interviewing him and talking about the Parsha. It's called Receiving Shabbat with Dov Elboim for Parashat Masai. And they were talking about the Parsha, and Rav Nir Manus explained that the beginning of the pasuk, it talks about coming out from your place, from the regular place to the journey of life. Yatsa in Hebrew, like כתוב מוצאיהם in the pasuk. מוצאיהם, it's from the root יצא, from getting out. You're going out to the from the matsui, from the situation that you used to your life, to a journey, to something new. And the second part of the pasuk that kind of repeats itself, it talks about the inspirations and stuff that you find in your journey, that you grow from in your journey. Like motza is like, can be also from the shoresh matzah, like found, mem tzadik aleph. So it can be the shoresh yud tzadik aleph, yatza, and it also can be the shoresh matzah, like found. So it's basically stuff we take from our journey. So we go out to our journey, and then we learn stuff and we grow from it. And he explains more that every place we stop in our journey, the entire journey is kinda in it. Because it says, Vaisu me, they went out from, they start like driving from, and they stopped be, vayachanu be. And me, like they came out from is me, like the letter mem, and they stopped in is be. So it makes the letters mem and bet, it's mem bet, and that's the number of the journeys that they had. They had 42 masaot. Mem is 40 in Gematria and bet is 2. So it's 42. So in every place they stopped in and they went from, and it gets the letters mem bet. So every stop, I basically stop and see, what do I learn from this place? What I can take out? How can I grow from this situation? Hashem puts us in different situations in our journey, and we're supposed to learn something from every place we go and from every person we meet. And we get a lot from every place, and we need to stop and see what we get. But then after we got something, we want to grow and continue, and we don't stay in that stop. We go again to another journey and look for other stuff. And basically, all this journey is a journey of searching and getting bigger and better and growing. And it's nice to see that the entire journey of Am Yisrael is that it comes out from Mitzrayim, from Egypt, that in Hebrew, Mitzrayim is from saying tsar, from being narrow. And so basically you're coming from a narrow place in order to grow and get bigger, and they go basically to Eretz Israel, the land of Israel, that is, it's called Eretz Tova Verechava. Yeah, like in Sefer Shmot, in Perek Gimel Pasuk Chet, in chapter 3, Pasuk 8, Hashem says to Moshe, Ve'ered la'atzilo miyad Mitzrayim. I went down to take him out from Mitzrayim, from Egypt, ולעלותו מן הארץ ההיא אל ארץ טובה ורחבה, and take him out and up, לעלותו, reason, from that land to ארץ טובה ורחבה, to land that is good and wide. And that's our journey, to go out from Mitzrayim, from Egypt, from narrow, to a place that is wide and good and having progress in our life. And another very interesting idea that Rav Nir Manusi says, and that will connect us to the CBT tools later, is that the middle stop that Bnei Israel went through was stop 21, right? There's 42 stops, so the middle one is the 21, and that place is called Charada, and in English it means anxiety. That was the name of the place. Isn't that interesting? It says in the pasuk, "Vayis'u me'ar shefer." They went out from the mountain that his name is Shefer. Shefer mountain is a high place, and Shefer is from Shipur, from improvement, and then they get to Charada, to an anxiety, and then it continues. It says. They drove from an anxiety and they stopped in a place that's called Makelot, from the word kahal, like a lot of people together. And then they drive from there and they stop in the bottom. And I will talk about it. It's like very interesting. It's like the journey we go through our life. We get into a high place, and then we can have some anxiety, and then then we get over it, and we're able to meet people and be part of the community. But then again, not everything goes the way we want, and not everybody agrees with our way, and it can actually take us to a really low place after we were in this high mountain. And then we again grow, and it's part of the journey. So basically, after all these 20 places they went, they get to the 21 place, and they have like an anxiety attack. It's equivalent to people that have an anxiety in the middle of their life. After they did so many things, they might have an anxiety attack, and it's not easy, it's not comfortable, and something they need to deal with. That's why I want today to give you tools how to deal with these things. And after you grow from it, and you're able to overcome it, then you're able to see the other people, the other person to come into the crowd, קהל, yeah? ויחנו במקהלות, משון קהל, from the name קהל, from meeting people, and they able to interact and be part of the community. But then the interaction might be not easy. Not everybody agrees with my way, and it can take us even lower to the bottom. And that's also part of our journey, as I said. And in the end, it says, Vaisu Kadesh. They went out from a place called Kadesh, like from Kadosh, from holy. And then they stopped in Hor Ahar, the like highest place of the mountain. And Rav Nir Manusi explains that Hor Ahar, the highest place in the mountain, is basically like the light of the light, because Or Vehar, light, and mountain, it sounds kind of similar in Hebrew. And he says that basically it's the light after the light. And if I understand him right, in our life, in the world, there's lights and tools. Hashem springs light on us, the sun, and then there's tools to receive it. And basically in the journey, we learn about all the powers and the energy and the light that we have inside us. We find it through all this hard stuff we're going through the anxiety, through like reacting with people and learning stuff. And we learn about our powers. And with those powers, we were able to go through this journey. And now, in the end of the journey, we see the light of the light, and we're able to shine our light to others and help them in their journey. So now I want to move to the CBT part. And we were talking about anxiety. And it's important for me to explain that anxiety can be in different levels. It can be like just feeling nervous and uneasy, and it can actually have physical effects, like sweating, like your heart goes really up. People think they get like a heart attack. It can be like a mamash attack of an anxiety, and there's different kinds of anxiety. There's anxiety from people, like talking in front of people, or like going out with friends. And I will put a link that explains more about that kind of anxiety and how to deal with it. There's also an anxiety that is connected to OCD, and today we will focus on that specific kind. But in Parashat Bo, I explained more widely what OCD means. Today I won't explain exactly what is OCD. I more like talk about the tools. But if you want to learn what is OCD, how you can recognize it, and other tools how to deal with it, you can go to Parashat Bo, and I will also put link for that underneath the video. There's also like phobias from different places, like closed places or open places or specific places that makes me afraid, or like being in an elevator. There's also phobias from specific animals, like people are afraid from dogs or from different animals, yeah? And there's also things that can be connected to health, like being afraid from needles or from hospitals. There are many different kinds of anxieties, and it's always uncomfortable feeling that comes with it. And today we learn a model. What I loved about that model, that it's actually cure you from your anxiety. It's not another thing that like a pill that you need to take for your entire life, and you're still sick, but you just don't let the sickness behave or get worse. In this thing, we actually will learn how to cure your anxiety and to be back healthy and normal. And that's amazing that there's a ability to get cured. So the model is of Jeffrey Schwartz, and it's called cognitive behavioral. So there's the cognitive part and the behavioral part of the CBT, but they add another part of the biological, and that's the new thing about this model, that it explains how your OCD is connected to biological issues, like stuff in your brain, and how you can change it and basically overcome it and cure. And so this model is of knowledge, cognitive knowledge, with understanding of the biological thing that's going on in our brain and how it influences our behaviors, and then the behavioral part. And basically, in order to do the change, you need to learn how to deal with your anxiety and your urge to make a compulsive behavior. And it will include exposures to the situation that actually make you feel anxiety, in order to change them in a better behavior that is adaptive and better. So I will start with the explanation about the biological part. And after we understand that, then I will give the practical thing that what you need to do. But it's very important to understand how it works, because that will give you the motivation and the energy to make the change and to understand why it takes a while and how I do it and how it works. So very important. So basically, in research they found that from biological part, the urge, it comes from uneven hormonal stuff in the brain. Like your brain, the hormone in there, the hormonal stuff are not even. And that's why in the brain there's like a message that is wrong. And that's what makes people behave in this compulsive way and have those obsessive thoughts. And because the source of the problem is biological, so then if you just want to avoid it and not think about it, it won't go by itself, because it's a biological problem. It's not something from the outside. It's like actually there's problem in the brain. It's like it's like having like sickness. And the goal of the treatment is to learn how to say no to those urges, but you don't want to try to rule on your thoughts or rule on the urge, because you don't have, you're not able to do it for the long term. Like for a second, you can say, okay, I won't think about a white elephant now. I will think about, I don't know, about a cat, yeah? So then I say, okay, I'm thinking about the cat, thinking about the cat. But then every time I think about the cat, then it reminds me my original problem. And also you can like just all day say, okay, think about cat. It's not like practical. But here we learn a practical way what to do. So, and very interesting is that the research find that if you're able to not say no to your urges, to your compulsive urge, so then you can actually change the hormonal issues in your brain and cure it. And all the symptoms of the OCD will go down. So basically by not letting your urge be the one who rules, so then you can change your biological, like the stuff in your brain. But because it's something in your brain, it's something that takes time. It won't be in one day or few hours. It will probably take few weeks or few months till you will see the change. So you need a lot of energy and continuing and not stopping. If you think the change will be in a few minutes, it will just make you be angry and be nervous because you won't understand why it's not happening. It will actually make the symptoms worse because being an anxiety and being nervous, it makes worse for anxiety. So you want to know from the first place that it's something that will take you time, and you need to continue with it for a while till you actually see changes. So the approach has 4 steps, and I will explain about each step. The first one is to identify and to give name. The second one is to look on all the situation from a new eyes. The third one is focusing. And the fourth stage is understanding what's going on. So we start from the first stage, identifying and giving name. So first, we need to identify that the problem we have, it's not normal. It comes from our obsessive thoughts and compulsive behaviors. And after we understood that it's something that's connected to OCD and not normal, we need to call it in its name. I need to say to myself, I don't think or feel like my hands are dirty. I just have obsessive thought right now that my hands are dirty. Because I know I wash them once, they're clean, but I have obsessive thought that they're dirty, and that's why I feel the need to wash them again, even though I know they're clean. Or you can say, okay, I don't feel like I need to wash my hands, but now I have the urge, the compulsive urge to wash my hands. And it's very important that you use the word compulsive and obsessive in your thoughts. When you explain to yourself, put those words inside them so you can actually remember that it's connected to your OCD. It's not part of you, it's the problem that you have that makes you now want to wash your hands again, even though it's not rational. And it helps us to identify that it's a pathological thing and not normal. And that will help us stop this situation and give us motivation to deal with our behavior and not let the OCD rule us. So the second step is to understand that it's not me, it's my OCD. That those thoughts are coming, the thoughts that are obsessive and again and again and again, they're coming from the uneven place of hormones in our brain. And basically it's a brain problem. And we know this thought is not rational, but like you want to check the house in the third time if it's locked or not. You know, you checked it already, but the thought is so strong that you feel huge urge to like do it. And then you also might have a really obsessive behavior that you actually check again and again and again. But if you understand that the root of the problem is your situation that is medical, so then you understand that it's okay. It's something that I just need to give treat to. Like you give somebody sick, you give them medicine. So I need to take care of my illness. And it's right that when you have an urge for something, like you feel like, oh, okay, I need to check the door again, and then you go and check it. So then for a second you get a relief, but for the long term, this feeling will just grow and get worse. And if you in the beginning needed to check it 3 times, then you will need to check it 10 times, and it will really affect all the way in your life. Like it will always, you'll be busy with it. So we don't want to let this 1 minute relief rule us, because it's a relief for 1 minute, but then for the long term, it makes us more anxiety. So we need to understand that. So, and after we understand that, in the first stage, we call it by its name, that it's OCD. In the second name, we understand its medical situation. In the third step, this is the practical step. All of them are practical, but in the third one, it's actually something we need to do. We need to change the focus for something else. Like if now I'm thinking of, I need to lock the door again. I need to check if the door is locked. I need to go and lock the door again. So instead of thinking about those stuff, I need to change and do something else, not think about something else, because that won't help. Remember, like we said in the beginning, thinking about something, just it's not a solution to change the thought. But what is solution is to change the behavior. So if now I feel like I need to check the door again, or I need to wash my hands again, or I need to do something that is obsessive or compulsive, I have obsessive thoughts or compulsive behavior. So instead of that, I'm doing a different action, different behavior that is something adaptive, something useful. Like I will do sport, like go on a run, jump in the jumping rope, do exercise, or maybe I can talk to a friend, do something that makes me busy, like go back to my work, dance, draw, read something interesting, but do something that actually your entire mind needs to be in it. Don't sit and drink coffee, and that like lets you time to think of your thoughts more. Do something that keeps your brain busy, like dancing, or like talking to somebody, or doing something important. Something that focus your thought about a different thing, and you need to do it for at least 15 minutes. In the beginning, it will be really hard. So in the beginning, you can start for like 5 minutes, and you say, okay, now for the next 5 minutes, I'm not going to worry if the door is locked or not worried if my hands are clean or not. I'm going to do something else, something you decided, like exercise, or talking to somebody, or doing some hobby you have. And after this 5 minutes will pass, then I can go back and do the compulsive behavior, or go back to my thoughts and do them. But we need to practice. That's the main thing. As more as you practice it, you will get better at it. And the idea is to do it, to stop for at least 15 minutes. Yeah, in the beginning you start 5, then you do 10, then you do it 15. Every time you have the urge to wash your hands again, you said, okay, now I'm waiting for 15 minutes. I'm not sitting down waiting. I'm doing active thing, something productive. And after 15 minutes, I can go and wash my hands. And you will notice, and also my patients, they told me that after 15 minutes passed by, so that thought that make them nervous or the urge to do something, it actually went down. Like if they felt they felt like they really need to do it, like on a scale, it was like 9 out of 10. They felt like they really need to do it. So then after 15 minutes, the urge, it went down to like 5, like significantly went down, like an F. And the same happens with the thoughts. You say, okay, I'm not like avoiding thought. I'm not saying, okay, I will never think about the stuff that bother me, or I will never check the door. I said, okay, I will do it, but in 15 minutes. And then after 15 minutes, you don't feel it's like so important to do it right away. It feels like, okay, I even can wait more. And slowly you will make the time grow. Like instead of 15 minutes, you will wait 20 minutes and then half hours and then 2 hours. And people, they wait 3 hours before they wash their hands. And slowly this behavior change the biochemical thing in your brain and actually cure it and brings it back to a cure place. Another tool that is very important is to write down every success you have. Don't underestimate your success. Even waiting 5 minutes before you deal with your obsessive thoughts or your compulsive behavior, that is a huge thing. So you need to write it down. Don't write down the stuff that didn't work, okay? Write down only the stuff that you were successful in, and that will give you motivation to continue, because you will see how much you did already and how much progress you did. So don't underestimate writing those successful things. And you shall celebrate your success, because it's not easy. It's not easy to start for 5 minutes. So after you did 5 minutes, after you did 15 minutes, go to the restaurant, celebrate it with friends. Say to yourself, you know, I worked hard. So give it a place. And the fourth stage is after we understood that the source is biological, and the OCD thoughts or behaviors, they don't have place for itself. It's just because our brain is not, there's a problem there. So then we have a way to start curing our disease. And when a thought comes, I say to myself, like if so that was the fourth stage. I basically understand that it's a way to bring my brain back into a normal situation. I understand the situation. And if I summarize all those 4 stages, so first, when a thought, obsessive thought comes, or I feel a compulsive urge, so then I, first of all, identify its OCD problem. It's not a regular thought. And then I thought to myself, now I have OCD symptoms. I feel obsessive thought or compulsive urge. And then I remind myself it comes from my biological situation. It's something medical, and if I want to cure it, now I need to move my focus and do a different behavior. at least for 15 minutes. And after I'm successful to do it, I write it down in my in my place. I write all my success. I write it down and I go and I make a party out of it. And all of this will help me to get cured and to continue. It's not an easy job. It's a journey, like we learned in the Parshat Shavua. It's a journey, there's ups, there's downs, but that's the way to get cured. And if you're asking yourself how I can help you, so I do Zoom from all over the world, and I have CBT tools that I learn. I will be happy to help you in this journey, that it's not an easy journey, and guidance is really useful and hopeful. And you're welcome to contact me. All my information is underneath in the box below the video. So you're welcome to, if you know about somebody that needs help, you can recommend me. And you can share this video to help other people. So have a great Shabbat. Bye.